So there's a game called, we played it actually on Gameplay Buddies, called Bendy and the Ink Machine. And
Oh
what that
yeah.
game is, it's basically like a Disney-like studio, but something clearly went horribly wrong, and these twisted and contorted cartoon characters are existing, and there's a whole story of it in the game. But that's not necessarily what I want to talk about in a movie adaptation of it. What I want to talk about is what happened before that, because it's a lot like BioShock, where there's like hidden tapes throughout the game where you can find out lore. And to me, that's really interesting because you get to hear how deranged the like Walt Disney of this game is, Joey Drew. You kind of get to hear how deranged and crazy he gets for success, to the point where it's almost implied that he did some kind of ritual to make these characters actually exist, and like people were sacrificed to make these characters exist. And there's like, throughout the games, there's like a lot like in Left 4 Dead, there's writings on the wall. And I remember one, it legit actually like broke my heart a little bit because of the implication of it. You go into this one room, and you just simply you turn the corner, and just written on this big wall right here is just, I don't want to work here anymore. And it was just so sad
Yeah.
in the moment, like when I really thought about it. And
Wow.
that, like, I would like to see it as like the movie. It starts off as this clean studio, but then as the events, by the end of it, the end of the movie, and I would like the scenes to almost like the first few opening scenes are just shots of the office. It's clean. The final ending is after everything has gone down. Is just like the mess of it, the ink everywhere, and all that. So I think telling that story, and maybe because there is a new game for it coming out, there is a new game coming out, and maybe they'll go into that. But I just think that would be a really interesting story to tell, the downfall of the Joey Drew studio and what happened exactly, because it just, there's so many different like tapes you find out. Like there's one, the person who would do taxes, they would go into like people's different like roles, like the janitors and all that. There's one of a guy who did taxes, and you find his room, and there's just numbers written all over the wall, and he was going crazy over doing taxes. And when you get to his audio tape, all it is it's just gurgling like he's drowning in ink or something. And I really think there could be something really special there with that. So that's my number three.
Literally me watching the gameplay buddies like the Bendy.
Yeah,
Same thing with
yeah.
Danganronpa as well.
Uh-huh.
Uh but like yeah, like watching you guys play through it, I was like, "Oh my god."
The game has a lot of implications, and that I think to me is what makes those bits actually scary. Like it's not necessarily like the creepy cartoon characters to me. It's the implication these said characters that are so upsetting to me, and like genuinely kind of terrifying when you think more and more